Hello and welcome to the Crypto Day Morning. Today's date is in that of Monday, the 17th day of December 2018. My name is Derek. All bets, trades of the like with one's each own risk and their own reward. Let's first take a look at Bitcoin, which has just recently had a nice pop to bring the price action to the declining 18 average of lows, as well as the previous level of support from the second week of December. Looking at such on the 4-hour term time frame, 18 average of highs was major levels of resistance, and then it supported the 18 average of lows really well. So there's the breakout, significant fast move above it. How fast of a move would that be? Well, it just happened. It's happening on this particular hour. It is 7:38 a.m. Eastern time as I'm recording this. So it's happening, well, just recently, 15-minute time frame. You can see it happened right around the 7 o'clock number. It's been just hanging in there for the last couple of periods. 5-minute time frame. There's your fast move up, just going sideways. Really, most of it happened in a couple minutes, but we can see at 7:10 it started to break out, 7:11, but 7:12 and set to 7:14. The market had a decent sized gain going up from 32.50 and change up to about 33.70. So that's a differential of about 120 or well over 3%. And is now established so far a support level of 33.42. I say so far because we could be establishing support lower. Same thing with resistance. Resistance is being supported right now at about in the area of about 33.68 to 33.74 in this time on this particular exchange of Coinbase. And getting above that, well, we can see that on the daily chart, and I gotta reset the scale on this, that price action could easily go to the 18 average of highs, and that would take us to the 3,500 and change mark. It could even pierce above it, of course. We'd be talking about this previous level of support. And therefore, moving towards the highs is just continuing its correctionary move. It's got to do a lot to get out of the bear market. Just to attempt to even do so, it's got to get above the 18 average of highs. Right now, we're looking at that area to be a little well over the 3,600 area. So will this be the bottom? I don't know. It could be, but it is a lot of work to revert the trend that it's probably safer to say that it's unlikely to be yet, but it most certainly, of course, might be. Let's switch this on next to Litecoin, which has now come back to match this previous late November high after making pretty much a lower low, matching low kind of area. The double bottom, inverted cup and handle, or just a double bottom kind of formation is most certainly in play, as if it gets above here, the potential for gains could be pretty decent, but we can see it's well over the 18 average, extended above so it's made in its statement that it's looking to revert the trend, which means holding a higher low on any pullbacks. The 18 average, very important, is just that, really important. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, there's a small rally that got it going, sideways consolidation. We might get a little warning sign come up now. Nope. Sideways move up, decent up move, and this, and during the sideways play here, I was looking at what was going during the yesterday at the end of the sideways move, I was thinking, man, if it breaks above this resistance, in the hour time frame would show it best. If it gets above here, we're probably gonna have a good move to the upside. If we break support, we're gonna go and come back to a key area like around 74. Well, it never even attempted to break below the support at around the 781 handle. It did attempt to break above 819, as we can see in here, and it has managed to have so far what I would consider a small leg higher, but the move doesn't seem to be over yet either, because it has been looking so far like it's correctly or going to be a correction successfully through that of time. We look at this on a 5-minute term time frame. We can see that the short-term support within that range established at the 829 mark. If it breaks down below there, you'd be looking to go down towards here. But even just the last 3 periods in here, here is the breakout situation. it comes back to the 18 average of lows, now back to the high. So that's wild moves. These 3 periods just tell me it's like an action situation about to happen soon, and it looks as if it's going to break resistance and have maybe a decent size leg higher than that. But I say action because here you are, this is where you're trying to break it, and the 1 minute time frame is going to show it much better. But the size of these periods starting at 710, or the last 7 of them, much larger during the sideways range. So let's take a look at it on the single minute time frame. So there we have a little bit of a rally, selling it off, but it's quickly recovered it. So therefore, in the very short term, and for yourself, this is going to be well past the fact. But if I see something like this, I'm expecting a good move to come relatively soon. A decent leg, or decent high, decent low. Okay, now you make this lower high to here. If we make a higher low, this is getting symmetrical. And when you can determine at the earliest possible stages where this is going to be breaking out from or breaking down from, then you realize on the downside you'd be looking for probably a fast move back to where you came from at around 804. And breaking out higher than that. Well, the daily time frame is very much extended, so next key levels of resistance. Well, we're at the resistance here, the support here, so we'll be looking to get close, well into the 90s, like the 93 or so handle. So another 10-12% could very easily come relatively fast if this area is not resisting or it's able to break through within, of course, this situation here. But I like this spot here as it's had the move correcting to the 18. It looks as if from this play here that it's looking to make a move higher. And as we look at this on the 1 minute time frame, do we see big volume coming in? We do. Do we see it breaking past resistance? Barely now, we do, but barely. So I would give something like this normal precedence that is probably got a good chance of going higher. That's you know the fact on this move right now because many minutes have passed, even if you're watching this on the very earliest past time, which would be around 8 o'clock Eastern time. Let's move next to EOS, which is having a very interesting session. Straight down move from the high on November the 27th through that of December the 7th. Only one green period day. Every other day was red. Since that bottom, bottoms and tops are known after the fact, but now we know for sure that this is a key bottom. But where will this key top come in? It looks like it might potentially have some decent moves higher, but we can see that it resisted around the 58 handle and caught up to the 18 through time. And over the last couple of days has made a move to the 18 average of highs, and today has just broken above such at the around the 6,000 handle. And how big was 6,000? Well, just putting a line at that area, roughly around there. So therefore, originally resistance was established here, and it broke it on the 1500 timestamp, December the 15th, and then grinding its 18 average. But the status of grinding the 18 average has changed this particular period, and we're only 45 minutes into it because it's 3 hours 13 minutes remaining, and it's just broken past that level of resistance. So therefore, looking at this further, we can take a look at this, say, on a single hour, and there we have the resistance break again. So originally formed there, pierce above, but pull back, pierce above, decent pullback, and then it got to it on the 1900 timestamp, but it stayed and hung around within this horizontal ray line, getting above it and holding and staying above it for 4 consecutive periods in a row, supporting rather than resisting that number, and then this period leaving the 18. Tremendous size gain, 15-minute time frame, happening within the last hour. Very choppy to say the least within such, as you have this big high coming back. So decent volatility, 62.83, well maybe not, but the move is relatively decent, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive green candles up in a row. And then it takes 6 to make the higher low, and it's been correcting well within this 18 on the 1 minute. There's the breakout at 7:43 a.m. Eastern, or 5 minutes ago. Coming back to previous area, now supporting, so it looks as if there's a decent chance it's ready to break past the 18 average of highs. Therefore, if you see this price, and again, this is going to be so different looking at this when you're watching this, because as many minutes will go by, but getting above like 6,300 and change, then this has the potential to maybe make a run for this previous key area of support, and you got to go all the way up to into the 7,000 area just to find such. So should have a decent move. It's gonna, if it has a decent leg above it, then it's going to be a statement that it's a reversal trend when you're well above the 18 after it's declining, but it's just attempting to do so now because it's barely gotten above that 18 average of highs right now. And it does seem as if a lot of the crypto markets overall are popping. This is DGB. Let's take a look at this on the 5-minute time frame. I mean, not much going on before, but we see it's just starting to pop out. High volumes come in, 715, 261 high, 273 low. So a 12-point differential. It's about 6%. But I'm just going to take a look at, I'm just looking at all of these charts, not VET. We've already looked at NEO. Ontology. Interesting setup there on the 5-minute time frame. Let's look at some other ones. Dash is having a decent sized day. We can see it's propelling itself nicely. And on the daily chart, definitely worth looking at in here, because we've got this resistance established many times. Well, it was established even back in the early parts of December here on the 4-hour. But you come up to it at 1,500 hours here, back to the 18 average of highs for close to 5 periods. Last period it left it. This one here, just 50 minutes into the session, looking like it might have the potential for a nice break above. ZEC, similar interesting pattern as well. We have the POA network just hanging in there with the 18 lows. Singularity.net, successful support on the 4-hour within the 18 lows. Steam attempting to make the band go sideways after making a bunch of lower lows, but looking at the last 4 or 5 periods, you have the red candle down, and then within this move here, just hanging in there, but we can see movements in an uptrend. So something you can look at on a shorter term time frame, say single hour. It looks like it's also got potential for decent size gains. Now I'm sorting this by percentage gain, but we can see 4-hour time frame, that icon having a decent size move. So we're looking at the best winners right now. We can sort it by the losers there after it. Everix, it looks possible that it might be ready for a run higher. So a lot of things are pointing that at least for today or tomorrow, we might have a global up run with pretty much most of the coins. Even Cloak, when you look at that, it's got the 18 average where it got above here to the 32 handle. Nice successful correction of the 18 lows, at least it's looking that way. Making it to the 18 highs, and I like how it's been uptrending nicely ever since. So we can draw an uptrend line connecting there. So definitely potential for that one as well. Ethereum, well, here's the 18 average going sideways. You come up here, barely make the 18 go higher, but keyword, it is going higher. And when you see something like that, because 266 has been hit quite often, it's sure looking like there might be a good chance it can get above it and maybe test some of these previous highs up towards a 280 and above. And Lend, definitely some possibilities in here. But let's just take a look at some of it by the VIA losers. TUSD might be one of the bigger losers overall. NLC too. This is their pullback though, because it went way up. So now the key thing is it's just got to hold and stay above these levels. AID, there's a spot where, oh, big rally. Is it going to break down from this 18? It's still there. It hit the 18 average of highs on this point, but just mainly hanging in there. Hasn't failed yet. That's mainly what the case is. TUSD, we can see that it can make it to the 18 average of lows even still. It's been grinding it and having great moves higher, like Bitcoin has went lower. That's why this could very easily be the start of a decent size bull market rally. And Storm, not much going on there. Komodo, I don't see much there. And this is Decred, or NEM rather. It's had a decent sized move. Yeah, it's hanging in there weakly or very poorly amongst the 18 average. But when you have that decent sized move, there's a lot of space below it. On the weekly chart, you've established this level of resistance, so it's still very important to hold and stay above the 1700 mark. Decred, this is one that's just continually going down, but on the daily time frame, do we see any type of possible reason that why it might revert? Well, on the 14th of December, it made a move above the 18 average of highs, pulling back to the lows. That's enough to make the 18 flatten out, as long as the price doesn't go down, and that's been the case thus far within the market. It's still, a lot of the other coins that I've shown first seem to have better setups. So I'm just going to end this video now, so I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.